Beautiful. So hello, everyone. It's very weird to be in university that way, but cool. So I'm Michael from Broker, where we do automated liquidity management and building some cool yield strategies. But today I'm here to talk about what we learned while we were building UniswapV4 hooks, because last year we received the grant from Uniswap Foundation to build four POC hooks. So just out of curiosity, how many of you have heard of UniswapV4 and know what's up? Cool. Mostly all of you. Cool. So I won't go into that much details. Uni4 is launching later this year. There are those three cool features like the singleton contract that consolidates all the contracts into one. So the tokens don't have to transfer between the tokens, between the contracts. Flash accounting that changed the transactions, so further reducing the gas costs. And finally, the hooks, the reason why I'm here, basically like the pool plugins, similar to browser plugins that can completely change how the pool operates. And there are some cool use cases, like building an order book AMM on top of Uniswap, doing native Bitcoin trading through Torchain, or kind of combining or tying the mechanics of POL or with the governance directly with the pool, and much more, like KYC to your pool, right? But from what we build, at Broker, we focus on profitable liquidity management. So that's what we wanted to do with the hooks as well. So we built the liquidity locking and incentives. So the user locks their liquidity and gets rewarded with tokens or NFTs. And also incentives will be a major tool to attract liquidity from the previous versions to V4. So I think you can expect a lot of incentives programs on V4 when it launches. We also did the dynamic fees hook because liquidity providers are struggling with profitability, especially during high volatility periods. So the dynamic fees can completely change like their profitability and can solve that. With our case or with our hook, we did it through volume that we use as a proxy for volatility. So when volatility increases, the volume increases or should increase, and the fee increases as well. We also did liquidity management hook. This one acts as an automated liquidity manager. User deposits liquidity into the pool or into the hook, and the hook automatically manages the liquidity for them, automatically rebalances, and auto-compounds the fees. And we also combined the liquidity locking with the dynamic fees. So the hook automatically adjusts the fees and lets the user lock their tokens and reward them. This is especially interesting for builders because this shows how you can combine multiple hooks together. So you can build very complex, even protocols on top of Uniswap, which kind of makes it an infrastructure layer. So it would be pretty cool to see what people will build on top of Uniswap right now. But what did we learn? Details matter. This is especially important when you are combining hooks together, because it's never as simple as you might think, because you inherit all the good stuff, all the bad stuff from the underlying hooks. And you need to align their features to kind of make it work in that one bigger hook. So for example, in the hook we were using, in the combo hook, you have the liquidity locking and the combo and the dynamic fees. But so when you look at it, they're completely unrelated. But it's not the case completely, because we are using the Uniswap function partial swaps for auto-compounding the fees in the liquidity locking hook. This is a feature that enables partial fills of the swaps. So let's say you have an order for 1K, but for some reason you will get an order only for $100. The whole order, or it's recorded, the volume is for 1K, which is an issue if you have dynamic fees hook that's based on volume. And we had this function disabled on that hook. So we had to redesign this feature to kind of fit both of those. And this is just a simple example of two hooks that are completely unrelated. If you have hooks that are more complicated, they affect each other, this becomes much more complex, much harder, and you need to track a lot of things and make sure that their features are aligned. Otherwise, it won't work as expected. But it's not only about the builders, it's also about the protocols themselves, because we are already seeing that protocols are struggling with opening the V3 pool and setting it up properly, which is also the reason why majority of the pools or newly opened pools are opened on V2 instead of V3. And if you add hooks on top, that's another layer of complexity and a lot more moving parts that you have to set up and somehow adjust. And if you have no idea what you are doing, this becomes more complicated, and you might spend a lot of time doing some theory crafting, because there's also no best practice at the moment, and multiple issues, like the MVV stuff, have multiple solutions. So for example, the dynamic fee hook, that can be done in 5 different ways, and nobody is 100% sure what's the best way how to do it. And also tied with the, or linked with the hooks, and like what you can build with them, because you can really build basically anything, you will struggle with interoperability. Because if you can have completely customized hooks with really like custom features, then you might also need some customized interface to operate those pools. Because without that, you won't be able to guarantee that the pool will work as it should, or guarantee experience working with the pool that it will work as it should. So for example, if you are, I know, some yield aggregator or asset manager, right now you have some kind of standard when you are integrating the V3 pool with V4 and the hooks and customized pool. You will struggle with that, because one pool could have liquidity management, another one could have dynamic fees, another one could have order book on top, another one could have combination of multiple hooks, and it won't be that easy to do that. And the last thing, what we believe is that eventually all liquidity will lead to V4, because you can build anything on V4. If you want a V2 pool, you can have a V2 pool, or basically a pool that will act as a V2 pool. Even like with the liquidity locking hook that we built, that forces you into an infinite range. So basically a V2 pool, and we just added liquidity incentives on top. And if you want a V3 pool, well, I mean, like V4 is V3 on steroids, so there's no problem there. So why would you go back to the previous versions when you can do everything that you need on V4 and get all the benefits from V4, like the singleton, flash accounting, native assets, and more. Generally, it will be also interesting how this kind of develops further, because Pancake is also launching their V4. Algebra has already launched their version of hooks. So it's becoming more competitive. But that's it from my side. If you are interested in reading more about the hooks, under the QR code, you can find all the details. Or you can just catch up with me after. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Would you still be available for a question or two if we have any from the audience? Any questions? Perfect. First question's about there.
Thanks for the talk. Do you think that in general V4 is a good way to work on their new version due to its opportunities, so many opportunities that it opens, or rather not very good idea because of so many issues like security related and UX related? Yeah, so the question is, would you rather say that it's a good path or a bit wrong one?